he listened.
Yeah, yeah.
He sat there and he listened.
Right.
He sat there, he stood there and he listened to different people, let them talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he would talk back to them. He wouldn't talk at them. He wouldn't try to like slip a quick little endorsement or a little advertisement for this or that. Mm-hmm. He would actually sit there and have a conversation and say, well, you know, I experienced that problem when I was community organizing, and this is what you can do that will better you, that will, I mean, it was like he was having a dialogue with the people instead of coming saying, I'm your savior, vote for me, I'm going to change the world. It was so beautiful and powerful. And that's when I realized that if I was ever going to get involved with the Democratic Party, I hadn't been a Democrat, independent, nothing. I said, this is something I can get involved with. So I started by knocking on doors, going door to door, and also phone canvassing. I didn't really like phone canvassing. I hate phone canvassing. It's like telemarketing. When I was young, I used to have a job. I don't like the phone. But talking to people, getting out in front of people, and talking to them and knocking on the doors, it's a very beautiful thing. Even though you do get some doors slammed in your face. You do get chased by some dogs. And occasionally you do get people who say some of the most creatively adverse things. You know, but it is a wonderful thing. And then after I got involved with that, that was just in California. Then I seen that during the primaries, he was going to every state, and they would show on the Barack Obama website where he was going to speak and everything. So I took all the money I had in my bank account, and I just started buying plane tickets and going to that city. Just going to the city, going to all the different cities, meeting different people. My favorite trip was the trip in which I made the CD, which was on the Pennsylvania. He did a 6-day bus tour in this really cool black bus, all through Pennsylvania. So he stopped in all these little towns. Like the town I remember the most is a town called Johnstown, Pennsylvania. It's a little steel town, and they had never had a politician come there in like forever, and they were so just appreciative that he would actually come to their town. I mean, and I met people there that I know I'll never see again, but people who were just like, I mean, children and youth and just people who were so just beautiful. It changed my whole perspective of America and of humanity, of just how beautiful it is that we are all living separate lives. We all wake up in a different house, in a different city, in a different state, in a different place, and we all have a life. And we all are doing our own things, but somehow all those different lives are somehow connected. That's how magnificent the universe, how magnificent God is. We're all connected, yet we're all apart. And Barack Obama is one of the only people I've ever met in my life who has been able to take the little kid from Johnstown and give him something in common with a guy like me from the inner city who's used to hanging around guys who are rappers and smoking weed and doing all that. I mean, I was able to really sit there and connect with these people who lived a totally different life. And we were able to come together and say, me and you, we are going to make this man the president. And it's beautiful. He is literally poetry in motion. And that's how I got involved. So that's my topic, to talk to the youth that a lot of people can't reach certain youth because they label them too far gone, or they're this or they're that, or they only want to listen to hip-hop music, and you got to talk to them in slang. And that's what's beautiful about the campaign is there are people on the campaign like myself who can deal with those youths too. And that's where I come in. And that's where all of us, that's what makes us a team. And like she said, it's not an election, really, it's a movement. And it's really run mostly, a lot by students. Students who are just getting out here and getting involved. Like, I spend most of my days on the campus of, if I can say this right, Auraria. Yeah, talking to the students and telling them about the other schools. I've been to Penn State and everything, and telling them, you know, they need to get involved. And one thing that Barack said when I was when we were at Penn State, he said, let me see, how did he phrase this? He said that, you know, even if he didn't win the primaries, we would have still won, because the youth have been inspired in a way, and they have been motivated, and they have been mobilized in a way so that now, no matter what we do, we know how to do it together as a unit. We know how to make a change in this country. Most of the youth that I meet who are on the campaign, we now know how to run for a delegate. Like me in Los Angeles, I ran to be a delegate. I didn't know anything about running for anything, didn't want to do, and I ran to be a delegate. And I learned it all from the Obama campaign, and it's something that will stay with me forever, and I will then impart and teach other youth.
Are you actually a delegate?
I'm actually an alternate. I'm an alternate.
Well, that's good. That's
Well,
good.
you know,
I've been an alternate.
I lost by about 75 votes, but you know, when in the delegate process, it's all about, you know, everybody you know, getting them to actually come and actually vote for you.
Yeah.
You know, in my opponents, they like went to their church and they chartered out little buses and filled them up. They had the whole bus come to the church.
I wanted to ask you a question. I wanted to ask Brad too. You know, in 2004, all the younger voters, the early 20-somethings, they talked a pretty good game, but they didn't show up and vote.
Exactly.
What's your sense of what's really going to happen this time? Because hey, that sounds good, man, but you know, how many of them are going to get off their butts and show up? Because I'm still mad at them. Because we'd be out of Iraq by now if Kerry gotten in there. Nothing like Kerry that much, but you know, Bush is Bush.
Well, me having talked to the youth, I meet a lot of youth in the inner city who have either served in Iraq or Iran and came back.
Yeah.
And I make sure that if I can, I call them up and have them go to different places with me and speak.
Okay.
See, because the youth this time, they understand.
Are they getting mad yet?
They understand that if they deal with McCain, that means that they will more than likely end up over there. A lot of people join the military, youth that I've talked to, they said they joined the military because of those really cool commercials saying you could travel all over the world and you could get a GI Bill and you could, you know, get a good education. They did not join the military to go over there and see little babies with their heads blown off and all that on the ground and have to shoot anybody. That's not what they were in the military for.
That's right.
So the youth are motivated by that alone to come out and vote for Obama. Because they look at the alternative and they surely don't want that.
No.
They are definitely getting up and coming out to vote.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't want to take up too much of your time. You have these beautiful field organizers who are actually in your county, and I commend them. But I'm Tony B. Conscious.
I'm Anthony from Chicago, and he's long-winded.